Can you hear me?
Yes, Joe.
Can see the screen or not?
Yes.
Okay, right. How many here? I see two. Okay, two more girls. Okay, now in our last lesson, I have gone through all this with you, but two of you left early, so I'm going to repeat this, and this time I'm going to the questions which are applications, not this type, not this type. They are applications. Okay. Okay, we are all here already. Right. Today we are going to do the rate of change. Now, rate of change means what? No? Okay, let me explain. If this x and y, they are two variables, right? And this variable x is changing with time. Like for example, we use t to represent time. So the rate of change of x, when you see this phrase, rate of change of x, you translate them to dx dt. If you see the word rate of change of y, you translate them to dy dt. Or maybe in the question they say rate of change of area, then you translate them to dA dt. Okay, so the dt represents the rate, right? So something dt, that means it is the rate of that thing, right? Okay, then the next thing you need to know is if this dx dt, for example, takes a positive value. Now, what does that mean? Let's say dx dt is positive 2, right? What does that mean? It means that x is increasing with time, and it is at the rate of 2 units per second, right? Now, on the other hand, if dx dt is a negative number, you come out, you calculate, you get a negative number, or it is given to you, dx dt is a negative number. Now, what does that mean? It means that x is decreasing with time. X is decreasing with time. So it is a negative number, right? So let us look at what I've written here. Now, what I have used earlier is x and y, right? So this x and y, they actually represent coordinates, right? But not something that we encounter in our daily life. Now, let's say it is an application problem, right? And they say dv dt is 2 cubic centimeter per second. So now we are getting a number, right? So dv dt is given to you in a numerical value, 2 cubic centimeter per second. Now what does this mean? It means v represents the volume, t represents the time. So it means the rate of change of volume with time. So rate of change of volume with time. Uh, then you look at this number again, positive 2. Positive means the volume is increasing. The variable that is at the top is increasing. Okay. Next, we look at this. dA dt is negative 0.5 square centimeter per second. Now, look at the variables there, A and T. So they represent area and time. So A over T is actually the rate of change of area. So by now, automatically when you see the word rate, you should write down d something dt. Don't wait for the question to tell you. The question will not tell you, right? So you have to know this. So dA dt is negative 0.5 square centimeter per second. So it represents the rate of change of area, dA dt, represents the rate of change of area, and the negative sign in front shows that the area is decreasing. Okay, decreasing. Okay, now to explain to you in more detail, it means that the area is decreasing by 0.5 centimeter square in 1 second at that particular time, right? Well, so if you know all this and you don't know rate of change yet, right? But you must use this, right? You must use this, the chain rule. Now, in solving problems involving the rate of change, you have to use the chain rule. Now, how do you use the chain rule? Chain rule is like that: dy dt, dy dx over dx dt. Okay, times dx dt. Now, let's say if I have this one, right? Let's say we look at this question. Now question number one, radius of a circle is a circular blot of ink is increasing at a rate of 1/6 millimeter per second. Find the rate of increase of its area when its radius is 12 millimeter. Okay. Now, first of all, you should identify what are the variables involved in this question number one. So can you tell me what are the variables involved?
dA over dt.
They ask you to find dA over dt. What is given to you?
dr over dt.
Correct. So if you can link these two quantities together using the chain rule, then you can solve the problem already. You can find everything that they ask you to find, right? So it is something like this, right? T is the time in second, d dt is the rate of change of x, dy dt rate of change of y. Okay, this one you know already. Then positive means increasing, negative means decreasing. And you should know the chain rule, right? So I repeat one more time. I repeat one more time. The steps that you need to take to solve this type of application problem. Okay. This I have listed out here. Now the first step is when you read the question, you identify the variables involved. For example, question number one, you have identified area and radius. Very good. So you know area and radius. So you must use the capital A, small r, and one more variable that is hidden. They won't tell you one. What is that variable? T, that is time. So these are the three variables that are involved, and the last one, the T, they will not tell you. You must know how to put it in yourself. Okay, so after you have identified the variables, the second step is to list out what is given to you. The rate, the values, and so on. You list them out. Now, as I've told you yesterday, the reason why you need to list them out is that you can see clearly in front of you, right? And you can join up all the quantities using the chain rule. Now, if you have not listed it out, then when you write out the chain rule, then you have to look for the variables in the question, which is not written in symbol form. So you may be a bit slow and some of you cannot see, right? So the first step, write out what is given to you in the question in the form of symbol. Then after that, you use the chain rule, substitute what you have inside the chain rule and solve the equation, right? So this is what I have written here, right? List out the rates and the values given, write them out in symbol form in your answer sheet. Okay, then the next step is to write down the relationship between the variables. Now, for example, here, circular block, radius of a circular block, find the rate of increase of its area. So it's between area and radius of a circle, right? So the formula is by r squared. So these are the things that you need to know. But sometimes the formula is given, like if you look at question number 6 here. The formula is given, right? Formula is given. Now, sometimes the formula is not given. Okay, sometimes it's like this, then you have to know the formula. So whatever it is, whether it is known or it is unknown, you write down the relationship between the variables involved. Now, after writing down the relationship, you differentiate the relation, differentiate using your knowledge of differentiation. After you write down the relationship and you differentiate them, then you code this formula. Code the formula means you copy down the formula in your answer, this formula. dy over dt, dy over dx times dx in dt. Now, in this case, when you're talking about the area and the radius, what should it be? Instead of y, what must you write? You want to
A,
find, huh?
dA.
Correct. So you write down dA dt. Now, since this is a, so here you write dA lah. dA, then the bottom is what?
dr.
Correct, is dr. Then here,
dr.
very good. You know how to do this question already, right? You know how to solve this problem already. So that is what I want you to remember lah. So when you look at the question, you don't be afraid. You just write down all this. Once you have write down the formula dA over dt, dA dr times dr dt. Once you have written this down, then the next step is substitute in the values listed earlier. So the values that you have written on the question, on the answer script, you just put inside the chain rule. That's all, right? Okay, so coming back to this question here, the radius of a circular block of ink is increasing at the rate of 1/6 millimeter per second. How can you translate this into symbol? How you translate this? Radius of a circular.
Translate what, teacher?
This one, radius of a circular block is increasing at the rate of 1/6. So in symbol form, what is it? Rate 1/6. What rate they are talking about? Rate of what?
Rate of change of radius.
Correct. So in symbol form, what must you write down?
I don't know, teacher.
Rate of change of radius. Rate of change
dr
of
over
x.
dt.
Dr dt. So you write down dr dt equals to what?
d
Dr dt is what?
1/6.
1/6. What they ask you to find the rate of increase of its area when the radius is 12 millimeter. Rate of increase of area. Now, what they want you to find? In symbol form,
Pardon, teacher?
find the rate of increase of its area. So in symbol form, how you write this? Rate of increase.
dA over dt.
Yes, dA over dt. So I write here dA over dt. But I don't know the value. This value is asked to find. So you put a question mark there. So dA dt question mark. Okay. Then another thing given is radius is 12 millimeter. So you write down R equal to 12. So can you do these steps? Can or not?
Yes, teacher.
Read then change. Okay, now after listing out the rates and the values that are given to you, what is the next step? Here.
Differentiate.
Write down the relationship first, then you differentiate the relationship. So what is the relationship between these variables here, A and R? What is the relationship between A and R, the area of the circular block and the radius, circular blot, okay, not block, blot. The relationship between the area and the radius is what? Area equals to A equals to
Pi r square.
pi r squared. Now this relationship without t, you have to differentiate. So the subject of the formula is A. So you differentiate A with respect to R. So dA dr is 2 pi r. So can you see that what I'm doing here from these steps here? Yes. So what is the next step? After copy down, after writing the formula and differentiate, what is the next step?
Differentiate.
Or differentiated already, dA dr is 2 pi r. After differentiating, what must you do? The next step here.
Put the formula.
Yes, you quote the formula. So what is the formula? dA over dt, dA over dr times dr over dt. Do you know what is dA dr? Do you know what? Yes. What is it? From here.
2 pi r.
2 pi r. So you substitute. Do you know what is dr dt?
Yes, 1 over 6.
1 over 6. So you put down 1 over 6. So this equation, this expression here has r. So you have to substitute the r with something. What is the value of r that you need to substitute?
12.
12. So you substitute 12. Then finally you will get the answer 4 pi. Now this 4 pi is dA over dt. dA over dt equals to 4 pi. Can you tell me in words? Can you tell me in words? Now it's in symbol. You translate them to words. Can or cannot?
The rate of change of area is
Yes,
4 pi.
very good. The rate of change of area is 4 pi, right? So area increases by 4 pi millimeter square per second. So because it is positive, then I say area increase. Okay, increase. Now this 4 pi millimeter per second is not always 4 pi. It is only 4 pi when the radius is r. When the radius is bigger, probably the rate will be even higher. Okay or not? So you must not think that the rate is always fixed. The rate is changing all the time. Okay, right. Now you read question number 2. Who wants to read question number 2? I can read, but then I read, you cannot follow. So you read, then you can follow. Someone read aloud.
The area of a circle is increasing at the rate of 12 cm square per second. Find the rate of increase of its radius when its circumference is 36 cm.
Oh, this one has many variables. What are the variables involved?
dA over dt
Yes,
and
dA
dr
dt.
over dt.
dr over dt, yes. When its circumference is
36.
36. Okay, so they introduce one more variable there. The circumference is 36, right? Okay, very good. You know what to do already. So I think probably because every time I read the question, then you are not following me. That's why you don't know, right? So now you read the question, you can follow. So next time you read the question. Okay, so area is increasing at the rate of 12 centimeter per second. So in symbol form, what is it? Area
dA over dt.
correct. dA over dt is 12. Find the rate of increase of its radius. So what must you find?
dr over dt.
dr over dt. And you want to find it when? When is it? When
When
the
c
c
circumference.
equals to 36. Now, if you look at this question here, they are the same question. The problem is this one give you the radius. This one give you the circumference. If you look at the radius, finally you have to substitute the radius inside the expression here. Now, if you are given the c, the circumference, can you substitute the circumference inside?
No. Yes.
Cannot, right? Cannot. Now, if you cannot substitute the circumference inside, and you need to substitute the radius inside, so you need one more step. What is that one more step? Anyone?
I don't know, teacher.
You see here, you are given R. Here in the second question, you are given C, right? So I I substitute the R inside this formula because when I differentiate, I get the 2 pi R there. So I put the R inside. Now, similarly over here, when I differentiate, I will get the R here. So can I put the C inside the R? Cannot, isn't it? So they involve one more step. What is that one more step?
Differentiate.
No, not differentiate. You need to find the value of,
r.
you need to find the value of R so that you can substitute inside the chain rule, right? So one more step. So the extra step is this one. Circumference is 2 pi R. Now, so from the circumference, you can find out the radius. 36 is 2 pi R. So R is 18 over pi. Okay. So everything is ready. So what is the next step now? You can see from this.
Differentiate the r.
Differentiate the, not R. Write down the relationship, then differentiate the relationship. So what is the relationship here? Same as the previous question. What is the relationship here? The relationship between the variables a and r. So what is the relationship? A equals to pi r squared.
Pi r squared.
Okay. So from here, what is the next step? You differentiate the a with respect to r. That is, a equals to 2 pi r. Okay. So when you have differentiated, when you copy down the values, write the formula, differentiate, what is the next step?
Quote the formula.
Yes, which formula is that?
dr over dt equals to dr over dA times dA over dt.
Okay, you can do something like that. Or I still continue with the formula just now. dA dt, dA dr, dr dt. I still use the same formula, but you want to use the way that you told me just now, can also. But I use back the same formula. This time, the dA dt is known. Okay, in our previous question, you have to find dA dt. But this time, the dA dt is given 12. So you put inside here 12, right? Then dA dr, you also know. How much is it, dA dr? This one, 2 pi r. So you put in 2 pi r. dr dt or dr dt is what you are asked to find. So you just copy back lah, dr dt. So the pi and pi can cancel. Then how much is the R? How much is the R? You found out here already.
18
R
over
is
pi.
18 over pi, then you put inside. You see, earlier on they give us the C, we don't know R. So you have to find out the R and put inside. So put inside, cancel, become 36. 36 bring over the other side, cancel, cancel, 1 over 3. Now, can you describe to me in words, like just now here, in words, what is the meaning of the R dt? The R dt is positive 1 over 3. So what does that mean?
Increasing by 1 over 3. The
What
rate
is
of
what is
the rate
increasing
of
by
the
the
rate of change of its radius.
correct. Rate
Increase
of change of radius is it is increasing by 1 over 3 centimeter per second, right? So the radius increases by 1/3 centimeter per second. Oh, so far, any questions? Any question?
no teacher.
No, can understand. So can you tell me what are the steps that you need to do before when you are solving this type of problem? Can you tell me what are the steps that you're going to take?
Identify the variables
Correct.
involved and then list out the rate and values.
Yes.
Write down the relationship and
Yes.
then differentiate the relation. Quote
Ah,
the formula and then substitute in the values listed earlier. Solve the equation.
okay, right. So these are the steps. So now I move to another question. Okay, the other question is like this. The question is number three. Number three. Now, the radius of a sphere is increasing at a rate of 0.5 centimeter per second. When its radius is 5 centimeter, find the rate of increase of its volume. Okay, so I read the question, I change them to symbol. So the first sentence, rate of sphere. Now it's not a circle, it's a sphere. The sphere is increasing at a rate of 0.5. So in symbol form, what must I write down?
dr over dt
dr over dt is equals to
0.5 cm.
0.5. When its radius is 5, radius is 5, how you write in symbol?
When the radius is 5 r equal to 5.
Okay, then find the rate of increase of its volume. Rate of increase of volume in symbol form, how you write?
dv over dt.
Very good. So you know, right? dv dt. So you put down dv dt, then question mark. So what is the next step that you need to do after listing out all these things? After listing out all this, what must you do? You write down the r dt, dv dt. So the next step is to write down the relationship between r and v. Now, since this is a sphere, the relationship between the volume of a sphere and the radius is v equals to 4 over 3 pi
r cube.
r cubed. Next step, what must you do after you write down the formula?
Differentiate.
Okay, differentiate. dv dr is 4 pi r squared. After you differentiate, what must you do?
Quote the formula.
The chain rule. So the chain rule is dv dt equals to dv dr dt. You see the sequence, the format, how to write this chain rule. Okay, right. So after that, you substitute inside. Okay, you substitute inside. Then dv dr is 4 pi r square. dr dt is 0.5. Okay. Then what is the value of r? Still got r there, cannot?
5.
You look at the top there, r is 5, then substitute inside. Finally, you get dv dt is 50 pi. So in words form, volume increase at 50 pi cubic centimeter per second. Now, can you do the same for part B?
Teacher,
Ah,
the answer usually will have pi.
you can leave the answer in terms of pi if it is involving circle and volume, right? So you can leave the answer in terms of pi. Even in the next chapter there, the integration, right? When you want to find the volume of revolution, normally we leave the answer in terms of pi. We don't calculate, just leave it there, right?
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Now, can you use these steps to find out the surface area, right?
Okay, teacher.
You try now, then afterwards I show you the answer. The answers are here, right? Then you also try the other questions, 5, 6, 5 and 6. But this one, the formula, one given, one formula not given. No more already. Okay, so you try question number 5 and number 6 also, B, 5, 6. Now the book, the textbook, what is the textbook question? Okay, textbook. Where is the textbook question? Never mind. Textbook. Where is it? Textbook is this one. Okay. So the textbook, the question is this. Where is it? This one. 12. Sorry. Self exercise 2.13. Okay. 2.13. Okay. Okay, so I write down here, you also try this self exercise 2.13. Self exercise 2.13 is the homework, right? Okay, so now you know all the steps. If you have forgotten the steps, then you see the steps I've listed out here. You follow step by step. Okay, you follow step by step. The steps I've listed here. Then like this, list out variable, differentiate the relationship, use the chain rule, and so on, right? So if you cannot do this question number 4, 3b, 4, 5, and your self exercise 2.3, you put inside the telegram. Now, I don't expect you to give me the correct answer inside the telegram. You must do halfway, then like last time like that. Then you show me, oh, cannot do halfway. Now this is what I've done. Where is my mistake? Then I will tell you, oh, this is your mistake and so on. Then you learn from there. You correct yourself. Now after making a few mistakes, then all the different type of mistake covered, then you know how to do the question already. It's not very simple, no. You have to try and then you have to make mistake first, then you learn from the mistake. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. So now mind, I show you the part B. Part B. Part B, they ask you to find the rate of increase of its area. So that means they want to find what? D what? dA
Over
dt.
dv.
Correct. Now, after you've write down the relationship. What is the relationship between the area and the radius? Now, this is a sphere. The surface area of the sphere is not pi r square. The surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r. So you have to write down this formula. Now, it depends on the question. Some question, the area is given, right? Some question, the formula is given, right? Now, in this question, it's not given. But if you look at question number 6, it is given, right? So you don't have to different question, different style. So if it is not given, then you have to write down the relationship. If it is given, you just copy down the relationship. Then after that, you have to differentiate. Differentiate, you get 8 pi r. After differentiating, what must you do?
Teacher, when we write the 4 pi r square, why the r we cannot write 5?
Sorry, don't differentiate the pi.
No, because the r they given 5 cm. If we put the 5 into the r first,
Then you cannot differentiate already. You put the 5 into the r, then you are actually finding the area. You are not finding the rate of change of the area. Okay or
okay,
not?
teacher.
Cannot. Or once you put in there, then you are finding the area. You are not finding the rate of change of area.
Okay, teacher.
When you put in there, it will become a number. You cannot differentiate already. The number you differentiate becomes 0, right? So you have to leave it in terms of a variable so that you can differentiate. So when differentiate becomes 8 pi r. Then after differentiating, what is the next step? Write out the
Formula.
formula, the chain rule. So the chain rule, you must know what are the variables so that you can write out the chain rule. So the variables, they are a and r. So you write down dA dt, dA dr, dr dt. Now you can substitute in. dA dr is 8 pi. dr dt is 0.5. And now you put in the r. After you put in the r, you get the value dv dt is 20 pi. Can you interpret this? Can you tell me what is the meaning of this? You have to write out the meaning, you know. Can you tell me what is the
The
meaning?
rate of change of
Rate of change of?
teacher total surface area, not right dA over
Oh,
dt.
yes, sorry. Correct, it's dA, sorry. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, it's dA. The rate of change of area is how much?
20 pi.
The rate of change of area is
When
20 pi. Increasing or
when its
decreasing?
radius increasing.
Increasing. So the unit is 20 pi centimeter per second.
Centimeter square.
Where is this? Why like that, no? Funny. Okay, so this is it. So the area increases at a rate of 20 pi centimeter square per second. Okay, so that's all for today. So remember to try this one and this one, right? This one, the two of this. Okay, so we end the lesson here. I hope to see your problems in the Telegram.
Okay, teacher. Teacher can send the question inside the group.
Can. Okay, bye.